All right, welcome back. G.T.O podcast episode 19, I believe.
Yep.
Today I have with me is
Sam Lucker.
and my father.
John Davis.
All right, you might want to not want to put your full name out there, but all right.
Oh,
We've been doing that.
We got a Twitter if we still use that. We got a Facebook. I don't know if we use that. We got a Patreon. All this stuff is on our YouTube channel. If you want to support us and like what you're hearing, we love your money. We got a sponsor to the podcast, believe it or not. We're sponsored by Tyson Meat Shapes, made with 100% realistic meat. From horse entrails to bison ligaments, Tyson has you covered. These nondescript blobs are covered in a brown coating that is great with ketchup, by the way. Anyway, Tyson Meat Shapes. Looks like meat, tastes like meat. Must be meat. Thank you, Tyson. I saw an article the other day. Tyson recalled 130,000 bags of chicken nuggets because they had pieces of plastic in them.
wow.
My sisters keep eating them. So
Right.
anyway, we got a new guest here. Father, if I could call you that.
Yeah, that's right.
So let's just kick it off with this. What's your first game that you ever played?
The first game
Yeah.
that I ever played. Oh man, I'm gonna go back for y'all now. This way back. I am going to go. For mostly everybody has played this from my time. Is Super Mario Brothers. It was between Super Mario Brothers, Contra. That's a Konami. Konami made Contra. Rygar. I don't know if you ever heard of Rygar. That's a big time old game on Nintendo. Classic. I loved it. Metroid. I didn't care for Legend of Zelda. I played it, but I just really couldn't find my way, honestly. But Metroid, loved it. That was a very good RPG. I now, yeah, I'm 41, and yes, I still play games. But I actually have a Wii, and due to restrictions, I can only play with one hand, and the Wii does offer, many games that can be played with just one hand, which that's fine with me as long as I can get out and enjoy myself. So I'm fine with it.
So like you've been playing games for a very long time. Like what are your favorite throughout the years?
My favorite
Yeah.
on the PlayStation 2, my favorite would be God of War. God of War. Matter of fact, God of War 2. That would be my favorite. Along with that would be the whole Legacy of Kain series, Blood Omen, Soul Reaver. It was I forgot the name of it, but it was a part of the Legacy of Kain series, and it was like the character Cain and Raziel, the actual Soul Reaver. They were in it together. Like it was both of them. And that, man, I just loved the whole storyline. I love the way on Soul Reaver too. I don't know. I'm big on showmanship and whatnot, but they have a commercial on YouTube, pubbing the game or whatnot, and it's just the way it starts off. It's like an aerial view coming in, and you see like Cain, who is obviously the leader, and then his denizens come in, and then Raziel walks in last, and he's like kind of like transformed because he's growing now. He has wings, and Cain didn't care for that. He broke the Toto's rings clean. You remember that?
Yeah. I watch it sometimes too.
Right? Yeah, exactly. So that would be definitely up there with one of my favorites as far as my generation games or whatever. It would be, you know what? I have to go with the Metroid. Yeah, Contra, things like that. A racing game. It was called Rad Racer, and I mainly liked it because I loved the music that they had. Because every level had a different music. Oh man, it's just, I don't know. I like that kind of stuff. But besides that, then I like a lot of fishing games. Like Sega Bass Fishing and stuff like
Dreamcast, I remember.
that. Yes. Oh, I'm glad you said that. Brought back some memories with the Dreamcast. Nightmare Creatures.
I don't remember that.
It was a guy. He was in an insane asylum, and he broke out. And the enemy was, what is his name? Aleister Crowley. And they were in Paris. That's where it was supposed to take place. And he was trying to get to Aleister Crowley to basically exterminate him. And man, that game was good. But with the new mode of the games, it wasn't cartridges, it was disc, but it was still new. So they had some glitches with that whole system. But I finally got to the end and beat it. So that was a good thing. But that was a good game. That really was a good game.
Another game I remember, Sam, tell me if you remember this. In my early childhood, on I think it was PS2, we had Onimusha.
Oh, I'm so glad you said yes, sir. Oh, you brought me back. Wow, my heart is beaming now. Yes, Onimusha. 1, 2, and 3. They were all great games. They are definitely classics in my book. Man, I'm so glad that you remember that. Man, you make me want to play it. I really want to go play that now.
Well, so what are you doing recently? Like, what are you playing on the Wii right now?
Wii Sports. The Wii Sports, I'm trying to perfect my bowling. I'm trying to perfect that. And then I have a couple of fishing games. Sega Bass Fishing, Bass Pro Shops Bass Fishing, and then it's called Reel, Reel Fishing. That one there I don't like as much. It's a little too technical. You know, it doesn't let you just actually fish. So.
Well, I think we can move on from that, and that's very good information. So I wanted to start something new to get us more involved, and maybe the fans more involved. How about we assign ourselves a game of the month to play? So, do you have any ideas, or like something that we could all like get at? Because I don't have any money to buy new games, but something that we all have. I don't mind if it's a legal download.
Oh, that wasn't just said.
Allegedly. Like any ideas on that? Or
Nah, what would you have access to?
any Game Boy game, because we could just download that, or a DS game. It don't really matter to me.
What game system do y'all have? You have
PS3 and
PS3.
Wii for me.
I got a GameCube and an Xbox 360 and a couple Game Boys.
Okay.
Well, we'll give some time on that, but more importantly, this is more dire because it's the movie of the week. I just joined the film club in my school, so I'm trying to get more into movies because I haven't watched any movies for the past 5 years. So I was thinking, how about Pulp Fiction this week? I always wanted to see that movie in full.
You've never seen the whole thing?
No, I've only seen a couple scenes.
That is definitely a classic. Everybody should have that in their movie repertoire. Samuel Jackson and John Travolta. Maybe you wouldn't think, you'd be like, how can you possibly pair them up together? You know, man, they did it. They made the movie. I mean, even though it's Quentin Tarantino's movie, but they really and truthfully, I couldn't even imagine having any other little duo other than them to play that. And Samuel Jackson with that Jerry curl wig that he had, it was, oh man, that was a good movie. It really was. And then they actually had a message. They had several messages in that movie, you know, and it started at the beginning with Samuel Jackson asking.
No, wait, don't spoil it.
That's all I was gonna say anyway.
Right.
That's all I was. But he probes that question throughout the whole movie, you know. And so obviously it's left up to you whether or not how you answer that, you know. And there really isn't a right or wrong answer, but I beg to differ. I think there is a right answer to that question, you know.
What you think, Sam? You watched the movie before?
Nah, just like you, I've seen bits and pieces, but never the whole thing in one sitting.
I've seen the scene where he accidentally shoots the guy in the head.
And then In his car?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Besides that, I haven't really seen anything else. But let's move on to something that's gonna change this mood. Let's talk about election season, everyone.
Yay!
Hillary versus Trump. Who's gonna win? Gary Johnson, maybe.
Who?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, do y'all watch the debate or catch the whole thing or some pieces or?
Just reviews and stuff. Didn't catch the whole debate.
What do you think of it?
If you're not decided at this point, I don't think you'd make up your mind. If you would have made up your mind, it would have been by now. Because either you know Trump is crazy, or you think Hillary's the most crooked person ever.
Yeah, I kind of got that too from the debate. I didn't learn anything new. It was kind of like a waste of time because they didn't really they talked about all these ideas, but they didn't really divulge into how they're gonna plan, how they're actually gonna implement these plans.
Right.
So, and I came up with an idea with this yesterday because we were talking about this in class. I think we should have more a whole week of debates talking about each specific problem in more detail because I feel like me, I'm not there's people less informed than me, and I don't even watch it that much. So this would be a perfect time for lay everything on the line, have everyone get educated on this and make the right decision. But it seems like that they don't really care about that. It's more like a popularity contest. What do you
Gotcha. Really and truthfully, over the years, it has definitely regressed. It's going backwards. As far as really being progressive in their debates. It was slowly getting, and it has gotten to a super mudslinging battle. Who can ruin the other one's name? And a person speaking, what's the point in doing that? If I was a presidential candidate, what is the point in trying to drag so and so's name through the mud? Because they're going to do a good job of it on their own.
Mm-hmm.
It is no need to do that. They don't focus on any issues, and when they do focus on the issue, it's almost like they just skim on the issue, but they never really talk about solutions. Because that's what everything should be. Just regardless of elections, anything in life, you should always remain in a solutions based mentality. You know what I'm saying? Because right now I'm pointing my finger.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pointing the finger. Well, you not doing this. But you know what's really funny about this? Me pointing my finger. They got 3 fingers pointing back at me. So I have to take the responsibility of my life, my actions, the words that come out of my mouth, everything. I have to take responsibility of that. And that's something that, hands down, to me, is not going on in our political systems, whether it be from a municipal level all the way up to presidential, and when it comes down to our election, and it makes me think about what is it that other countries view us as they truly view us as. Because see, for so long it was like those American cowboys, they're rough, they're tough, they get out there and they do it, but now you hear the proverbial but come in there. But with all that hot dogging and showboating, what do they really offer? Yeah, we were a superpower. Notice I said were. We were a superpower when we had people like Roosevelt as president. I'm not saying that he was great, man. I didn't even live during that time. But you know what? He did think. I mean, he was the president in World War II. He was the president. You know what I'm saying? That was a tough time. But even our participation in our World War II time, it was only political reasons why we went. We didn't go because it was the right thing to do. That was strictly political. That was strictly it always comes back down to monetary. always comes back down to that. But it's really no different than today. At least back then, Roosevelt, those presidents, those icons in time, they actually really did stand for something. Yeah, they're flawed. Hey, they're human. They're gonna be flawed. But now, I really have no idea what does Donald Trump truly stand for. What does Hillary Clinton stand for? You know what I've gotten from this election season, as far as Hillary Clinton, she can't be trusted. She lies. She tries to cover them up. How in the world? How many cell phones did she have? It was like she had no, like during that whole Benghazi situation, she had, I know, she had well over 15, and then she had an assistant of hers destroy it, you know, and it's like the simple fact that you're destroying your cell phone lets me know that you were doing something you had no business doing.
Like Tom Brady.
Exactly. But it's like it really does. That has weakened our whole system here in America with things like that. I mean, Bill Clinton was, for the most part, outside of the Monica Lewinsky scandal. He was a legitimate president. When he left office, we had a surplus. We were ahead. Then little George Bush, who I did vote for the first term because I actually wanted change again. And see, that's why I said I'm leery with voting for Donald Trump, because when I actually did support change, look how it turned. We having lasting ramifications due to his greed of him and Dick Cheney. But as far as this election, I mean, I'm actually going to get out there and vote, and I would advise anyone of age to be in line to get your vote on, and really and truly, regardless of who you vote for, because you know what, that's a right that a lot of people across the world don't even have. You know, even to this day, it's 2016. You know, they have people that still can't voice their opinion. You know, for fear of something happening. Did y'all ever see what movie was that? Better yet, are y'all really informed about Hitler and the whole World War II era, that whole time period?
I think so.
Yeah, kind of.
The way that Hitler and his party, the Nazi party, really got into power was exactly like they had people hold votes. I mean, they had a regular election. But here goes the thing. Yes, come and vote. Come show your support. Get out and make your voice heard. I mean, I can just imagine what they're saying. Come on, make your voice heard. You don't. No, regardless of what you put on there, Hitler's gonna do it. Hitler's going to be. He's gonna win the show. He's gonna do it. And it's like outside of being a narcissistic, bipolar, manic depressive human being with a sinister plot to take over the world, Hitler in actuality was a great leader. Barring all of that stuff, he really was a great leader because he knew how to motivate his people. You know, he knew how to get the most from his people. You know, which in the end, if something could bring out your best, if I can probe you to bring the best out in you, then I could ask for no more. I mean, if I was a leader of a country and I could get you to realize your best, then we have a good chance of being great people. But it reminds me of something a friend of mine, good friend of mine. You know this person. You're gonna use your powers for good or for evil. Which one? Because you can touch people's lives either way, but would you rather make it for the better? You know what I mean? And that sticks to me to this day. That was told to me in 2002. 2003, somewhere around there. And to this day, that sticks with me. I think about that when it's like kind of like a lot of moral type decisions that you need to make, and that could have ramifications not only on my life but others' lives. You know what I mean? And I think that's something that's been gotten away from. You know, because nobody, all people think about nowadays is what I'm getting out this deal. You know, how this gonna work for me? Am I gonna come up? You know, and the thing about it is, if you're focused on the right things, just like with this presidential election, this is really relative. If you're focused on the right things, and I'm not what you think is right. I'm talking about what really is right. You know what I mean? If you're focused on that, you're going to come up. You're going to come up because let's just say this whole apartment complex. This is our township. This is ours. Mm-hmm. All right, we govern ourselves. It's all good, and we have to work with other townships. All right. Now, before we go out and do anything with any other township, we have to have a set of rules, regulations, standards, high standards that we have to set for ourselves before we can do anything with any other township. All right. So then that's when you get into everyone playing their role. Everyone is the best that they can be at what they do best. How can I, if you're, let's just say, for argument's sake, let's just say you're a great chef. Mm-hmm. Why would I ask you to be my dishwasher? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But that might be a crazy example, but in actuality, that's exactly what goes on. You know, why would you ask anyone to do something that they aren't necessarily proficient in? You know, that's who I want to run my country, or that's who I want to run my military, and the person that's proficient at handling the justice system. That's who I want to run that. I don't want the good old boy system. The good old boy system has gotten us into the situation that we're in now. A very recent good old boy situation. First term, George Bush, Dick Cheney. George Bush got in office. It seemed like everything, hey, you know what? I know me, I was a supporter of him. Yes. Now we could see some change. You know what? That's unfortunate what happened with Al Gore. But you know what? We're going to see some change. You're going to shake things up and make things better. Well, in actuality, he did shake things up. We went to a totally alleged war, weapons of mass destruction war with Iraq. And, just so y'all know, did y'all know 2 or 3 days before 9/11, George Bush and the Bin Laden family, Osama was not on that plane with him, but George Bush and the Bin Laden family took, it was either a plane, a helicopter, and flew over New York City. This is, you can go ahead and check that out, and that is the truth. Now, how do now you have a worldwide manhood hunt for the same man, and you hang with these people, and y'all flying over America.
It doesn't make sense how people still believe this trash, even when it happened. Like, you don't even have to check that fact. If you just watch the TV, you watch those buildings fall. You tell me, how does a building crumble down if it got hit on the top? If you chop down a tree at the top, the trunk is still going to be attached to the ground. And I looked this up. I saw a documentary. I think it's called Zeitgeist or something. Mm-hmm. And those buildings were made to sustain planes crashing into them because they are so tall.
Right.
So Whatever. Jet fuel cannot spill beans. Come on, guys.
In actuality, you're right, because both of them were hit at the top. All right. They were still stable. Like they won't crumble. They won't crumble. They will not crumble. And then all of a sudden, kind of out of the blue, then they just fall. Well, how do I fall if you just hit me right here? If you hit me right here, how do I fall down? You know?
Yeah.
But they were allegedly explosive, structurally, like set up structurally to blow that up. I mean, it was all a setup. Ultimately, I believe, and you know what? It's so obvious out there. You just have to be open to it. But that was all a setup to get the contract to extract that oil by Halliburton. And who is the big time man at Halliburton? Dick Cheney. So let's see. We have a rich tycoon from Texas, George Bush. His vice president he was like, I don't know if he was the president or like the chairperson of Halliburton, but he was making choices for Halliburton. He ran the show in Halliburton. And now we go to war. We say that Iraq had weapons of mass destruction. The UN Council went over there, spent weeks over there, found nothing. And George Bush claims they had weapons of mass destruction. That was definitely an agenda that they had, because one, they wanted to basically just line their pockets with money from now until 20 generations from now for their families. But like, look what they've done. Yeah, we can all have our gas prices. Have our gas prices really gone down? And depending on who's going to be elected, because right now the gas prices are not bad. But I remember when I was a very young man in my early 20s, 79, 89. No, it was 89, 99, and 109 for gas. That's what it was. I had a Chevrolet Beretta. $15 fill me up. I'm good for the week. When I had that Silverado, $110 to fill it up. And it really needed to be, I needed to top it off during that 5-day week. Not even getting into the 7 days yet. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was, oh man, that was a gas guzzler. But the prices, it was what, $4 a gallon? And right now, you know, it's good. I pay about $1.90, somewhere in there, which is a big difference from $4. But it just shows. I mean, you take that oil, you're taking it. All right. There's nothing we can do about you taking it. All right, you lied to us. All right, fine. All right. But how's it gonna affect us in a positive way? We shouldn't be broke. Why are the things like our energy prices, why are they going up? And we're taking all of this resource from them. I'm not saying they was right to take it, but since you're taking it, shouldn't things be working out pretty good for us? So,
well, I'm like, when we're talking about the gas, I noticed Mom, she spent like $60 every time she goes. I'm like, you know, why don't you just buy me a game every time then? Because I can just walk to school.
Yeah.
But anyway, you brought up a good point. You brought up a lot of good points. The first of which was that the politicians don't stand for anything, because the parties are becoming more and more polarized. So it's like it's more Democrat versus Republican rather than it's Hillary versus Trump or Obama versus Romney or McCain. It's like these people aren't themselves; they represent the larger interests of the party instead of themselves. So I I don't think that's an especially good thing. Like that's not what this country was supposed to be based on. I would think.
Right.
What do you think about this?
I don't know. It's not something I've kept much of my eye on.
But I don't know. It kind of bothers me. I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing, but I just don't know where this country's going. It's kind of bad to think from that perspective. But
It's going to hell in a handbasket.
you heard it here first. But the other stuff I noticed from like the election season is like Gary Johnson. Like I'm thinking like he could be the first third party candidate to win. Ross Perot came not close, but he was the best out of any third party candidate. Yeah.
You don't think Rev Nader was?
No, I'm talking about like he got the most votes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But he's a libertarian, which I found out this past week that I am like my economic views fall under that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like regulations on my economy basically.
Right.
Which we learned about laissez-faire capitalism in the class.
Yeah.
Yes, laissez-faire.
Which I like. They believe in unions, so workers have equal stuff like that,
Right.
and basically not having an intrusive government, having like the government like making like being on your back all the time about every little thing.
Right.
So I think that's a pretty good party for like what I think. But Gary Johnson, he just comes off as totally incompetent.
Right.
Sam, have you seen the video about he doesn't even know what the capital of Syria is?
Yeah.
I mean, not the capital, but where ISIS.
Talking about Aleppo?
Yeah, Aleppo. He didn't know what Aleppo was. I mean, I don't know.
But he's
he's the president.
Yeah,
It's like, if you want to be president, you should know this.
I mean,
Crazy.
Wow.
and he just overall just he's been like flustered ever since, and I don't know. I guess I have to wait next 4 years for somebody else, but
You know what? I suggest that, and it's not. I'm really not I'm not joking. But why can't we do that? There are no outlandish requirements to be able to run for president.
it's the money.
But once you put your hat in the ring, they'll give you $250,000 for your campaign. Now, this was back when I was in high school. It was that amount. I'm sure it has gone up. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. They gonna make sure they do that. But it's like you have that opportunity, and the way that I look at it, the way that I looked at it even back then, it's not even about really winning. Even though, I want to win, but in the end, it's just about sparking that new conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Just having, a different thought, to get minds working in a different way, and that's something that I think just we as everyday Americans can like get together and as a group of people, we're gonna have our face. You're gonna have your face, your person that's gonna actually be the president or whatever. And don't get me wrong, you can't just be a face. You can't. But at the same time, it's for the party though. It's for the group. It's for the greater good. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are things like, let's just say we had our own political party. And I don't necessarily like things that I don't agree with some of the things that you said. But in a grand scheme, everything can't be the way I like it. Everything can't be the way I want it. Because then we get into, let's think about some politicians from other times. Idi Amin, it's going to be done his way. Fidel Castro, it's going to be done his way. Adolf Hitler, it was going to be done his way. So I mean, you can't be like that and actually expect to have a progressive people, a progressive society. You're gonna get into a whole situation where people don't feel as though they have a voice. Mm-hmm. And I know when I was a teenager, when I was in high school, matter of fact, I'm not going to say I didn't feel like it. I didn't have a voice. Now, the only reason why I look at it as being okay, the only reason why is because I also was offered many other things in my life. So it kind of like do as you're told, not as you see. It was that kind of regime that I was under
What do you
growing
mean?
up. Do as you're told, not as you see.
No. Like what are you talking about specifically?
Well, specifically, I know was a issue of mine is that I was not allowed to really speak about my emotions and how I felt about stuff. If they had something that was bothering me, then suck it up. Suck it up. And then it didn't even help that I played football. Oh, big man, suck that up. Man, come on, you ain't got time. What you mean I don't have time for that? This feeling is inside of me all the time. You know what I'm saying? But I mean that's a whole other animal. And that's why I had told you how like it really touched me internally to know that you guys are doing this show and the things that y'all talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I was taken aback, man. I'm sitting down. I don't even have the TV on. I'm like, I'm listening to it. Let me see what's going on. And I'm listening to that podcast from last week. Look, we end up talking Sunday. Man, we ended up talking for an hour just about that podcast. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, you know what? That's what's not going on in today's society, especially with the youth. You know, people. How many youth do we know that are doing something like this? Now, yeah, I know that. You know, the premise comes off as like gaming, but it's like, you know what? That was just almost, it was almost like a ploy to get people in, and now we're gonna open it up to this. We're gonna open it up to the world now. Now we're gonna just talk about any and everything. So it's like that made me have a sense of pride, a sense of appreciation to know that my son, his friend, they remind me so much of me and my friends when we were growing up, because you know it was to the point when I was growing, like when I was a teen or whatever, that I leaned on them for that emotional support. You know what I mean? And yeah, that was a good thing, but at the same time, it wasn't a good thing. If we're all 16, 17, we can't necessarily advise each other to do anything, because everything is always based off of how you feel. At that age, everything is based off of how you feel. Nothing is thought out. You know what I mean? But at the same time, by us being well educated teens and somewhat knowledgeable on life, and the fact that we all had a common interest, and we were going after the same goal when we played football. So it sounded like we had a couple of steps up on where most kids were that were our age. You know what I'm saying? So we had a little advantage, but at the end of the day, we still came out to be 16 and 17-year-old kids. You know, but I'm not saying in any type of way that my parents are the people that mattered in my life as far as in school or whatnot. I'm not trying to throw them under the bus in any circumstance. But what I am going to say is that, one, people are not perfect. No one should expect that. And even though a lot of people say that, oh no, we're not perfect, but in actuality, they believe in that there is. You know what I'm saying? I've noticed generationally that starting with let's just say home life, I think it progressed, and I'm thinking about my parents versus my grandparents, the way that they were raised, do as you say. Do as we say, not as we do. That's how it would be. And yeah, me and your Aunt Tarika, that's how we grew up. I don't care. It's not that I don't care, but we don't have time for that. We don't have time. We don't have time for weakness. And you remember the movie 300? And Leonidas was doing his little. He was talking about when they were going off to the hot gates, and he was actually, he was saying in Sparta we don't have room for weakness. We don't have room to cry. We don't have room to give hugs. We don't have room for all that. And I understand why, but I'm not going to see that is cool. That's not the way I'm going to practice in my life. There is room for all that. Matter of fact, because if you don't address those things that can potentially create those type of situations, then you're going to deal with it whether you want to or not down the line. And the fallout can be so much greater, and I just think, just case in point of myself, I think about the things that I had to keep bottled up, that I had to stuff continuously, and it hurt me. But after a while, that hurt turned into kind of like a resentment. And then that resentment turned to cynicism. And then after a while, you just, what am I? Who have I become? And then you have to deal with that. And it took me 20 years to emotionally be able to deal with that. And you might say, oh, that's so much time lost. I used to think that. But it really wasn't, because all of that led me to where I'm at now. And I'm in a much better place now than I was at 17. So.
Well, you can go two ways with this. I noticed, let's speak about people who actually love their children. How about the Adrian Peterson?
Oh, man. Wait, please inform me. What actually happened? And didn't he beat?
Yeah, he beat his son with a switch until his son bled. Or not so much open bleeding, but had cuts and welts.
Oh, I didn't know it was that bad. I wouldn't have joked about it then.
Wow.
It was bad for that, but it wasn't as bad as it could have been. But it was still pretty
I
bad.
thought it was like it's illegal to beat your child in visible places where you can have bruises. It's okay
It wasn't visible though. It was on his backside and under.
What did he have to say about that?
That was how he was raised, and so that's how he's going to raise his kids.
I mean, that's true. A lot of people are raised like that.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I was raised with having a healthy appreciation for butt whippings, but I wasn't about that. I'm not about that. I've never been. I don't like hitting, because to me that's just another tool to kind of keep you stymied. You know what I mean? And that's what we have too much of in our society, from the government all the way down to, parents and children, is that shut up and do as you're told.
Creates a divide between you, like the child and the parent. That's supposed to be like the strongest bond there is.
That there is, yes.
Anyway, Adrian Peterson, you're a big fan of the Vikings.
Yep.
He's injured. How do you feel about this team going forward?
I actually think they're a little better now. Because before you could just stack the box because they're going to run it with Adrian Peterson, because why wouldn't you? But now it's like, are they going to throw it with Sam Bradford? Are they going to give it to McKinnon or Asiata? How's this going to work out, and how are we going to stop it?
It seemed like this team really complete. And what do you see them like? They're obviously going to go to the playoffs, but how deep can they go?
I think if their offense can step up a little more, they can maybe make it to at least the conference championship.
Now, I think now this is very premature to say this, but I do believe that Sam Bradford have found him a real home. St. Louis wasn't his home.
Yeah.
Who he was with, the Eagles, obviously it wasn't his home, but he's in Minnesota, and it just, things just seem like right. It just seems right there, and he seems happy. They are happy with him, I was hurt when
Teddy Bridgewater.
when he got gone like that, and there's a good possibility he won't be able to play again.
Yeah.
A good possibility, because when they said his knee was basically his lower leg
Was totally separated.
totally separated, but that I mean it happens like that sometimes, but you get rid of one and then you get another one, and that's what I'm not going to even jump on that tangent because I'm going to stay on task because, see, I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very well. I do that very well because I get so excited about something. But that will be for another time. I'll bring that up. But the simple fact is Sam Bradford's career was looking like you actually believe that this guy was #1 draft pick, things, not that he was bad, but like, he was injury prone. Then he really couldn't. He was throwing a lot of interceptions, especially in St. Louis. Oh man, he was interception king. And then he went to the Eagles, and then he was mediocre. But then, like now, he just got into this system. But you can see the comfort level, and that's important, especially for a quarterback. That comfort level, and he can actually be an authority on their offense, you know what I mean? So good for him. I mean, I like Minnesota. I didn't like him only one time, and that's when they played the Saints in the NFC Championship for the Super Bowl. But you know what? But if they would have went, I'd have wanted them to win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because honestly, I really don't. Yeah, and when I say this, I'm from New Orleans. I really don't care for Peyton Manning too much because he really is not a good sportsman. Honestly, he didn't shake Breeze's hand after the Super Bowl. He just ran off to the locker room just like a spoiled baby. He did that in most of he went to 4 Super Bowls. He won 2. The 2 he lost, he was not interested in dealing with the opposing team's quarterback. Go and talk to him or whatever. And it's like, that's one thing that I ain't like about him, kind of like poor sportsmanship. But I want to win just like everybody else. Maybe I want to win a little bit more. But at the same time, hey, if you beat me, you beat me. Play me tomorrow and see what happens. That's how it should be.
Well, in a couple weeks, I think week 5, we're going to the Panthers game, right? So how you think about the Saints season so far? Solid.
First of all, don't put me on the spot like that. when it's talking about my beloved Saints and how they look like straight garbage right now. I mean, the game is, and there's just more the same of the Saints, and really truthfully more the same just of any team. That's kind of like at that mode of transition. They're transitioning. The only time we had a really stout, controlling defense was when we had that Dome Patrol, Pat Swilling, Sam Miller, Vaughn Johnson, Pat, and Ricky Jackson. Those was not nice. That's 4 linebackers that you would always want. Now, do we have a defense like that now? For real. But they're actually transitioning because you know what? They actually did go out and purchase the right people. And then that football is a game of attrition. They have so many. When I saw this week's injury report, it was major players. Laurinaitis, he's hurt. He has a quad injury. Somebody else has a quad injury. I mean, somebody had a broken. It was something broken. I mean, it was just a list of people that's just like, man, they were all starters and stuff, and it's like, wow, what can you do? One thing the Saints never were good at. They'd have their front, their first teamers on both sides will be legit. They'll be good as gold. But if and when somebody gets injured, the backups. I mean, yeah, I can understand your backup maybe being a notch down from your starter, but it's like all pro starter. Oh man, he's down. He's gonna be gone for the rest of the season with a broken ankle. All right, we got up and coming. We've been in the league 2 years. We good. Oh man, this boy's still in high school. I mean, that's just what it'll look like, So I think we've gotten better on that. Drew Brees' time is up. I didn't think I ever really say that. I love Drew Brees, but I sure hope they have somebody that they're grooming, because you can see more often than not now that his accuracy with the ball is the same. He's never been a scrambler. I mean, that's not him. Even to a certain extent, and this is really being nitpicky, but his time management, his clock management is not as good as it used to be. I've seen him. It was the last game they had in the Dome.
The Raiders game? Yeah, I noticed it, the time management thing you're talking about,
right.
The Raiders game. I don't know if it was the coach's fault or his fault, but they called like 2 timeouts before like one in the third quarter and one early in the fourth quarter, I think it was. I'm like,
right. Well, I mean, come on, what you using those timeouts for? And then it's almost like clockwork. You done went and used these timeouts ill-advised. Guess what? You're gonna need them.
You lost by 1.
Right. They lost by 1. So I think this thing, even though the record is definitely indicating that, look, they suck. But at the same time, if you look at the way they lost, it wasn't like they really got beat. Last week, that was kind of a beating. But at the same time, who did they play this week? San Diego?
The Chargers, yeah.
All right, where they played?
They played
in San Diego.
All right.
And I think Gates is injured, right?
Gates is questionable.
Yeah, he might not play.
But I would really love for us to go out there to San Diego, have Drew Brees show his old team what they missed. So
yeah, they're probably gonna win because they don't have home field advantage. They fans do not care about the Chargers at all.
What? What happened with them supposed to be moving and joining the Raiders to get a stadium, and how all that worked out?
Last I heard, they were actually looking to join the Rams in LA, but
wait, San Diego was?
Yeah.
Okay, that's all right. That's who it was. It was all right. Well, and then the Raiders, they look like they might be moving to Las Vegas.
That could work.
That's not a good idea.
Good for the players.
It's not a good idea. That is not. But it won't be the same. Raider Nation. Well, I think they still have Raider Nation because what? Oakland is in Northern California.
I think so.
And yeah, and what? I don't think Vegas is very far from them.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So they're still gonna have Raider Nation fans, but nothing like playing in the Coliseum. Honestly, that's the first football team that I loved from the beginning was the Raiders. When they had Al Davis, when they had Jim Plunkett as quarterback, Howie Long as defensive end. I mean, Marcus Allen. That was a good team. I mean, I see why John Madden took them to the Super Bowl. So.
Was there anything else notable from the NFL you want to talk about? Tom Brady still got another week to come back, and he's probably going to be 4-0, right? The team probably,
yeah.
He seems so mad. You don't like him, do you?
No, I don't. No, I don't. they get away with a lot of stuff, and people don't tend to necessarily look at it. Like I've heard people say, "Oh, the Saints Super Bowl was bogus. They had Bonnygate going on." Really? Really? They had Bonnygate going on? Okay. All right, they did. Yeah, we had Bonnygate.
That's not cheating though. Like, what's wrong with that?
We had Bonnygate, but let's see. We didn't have our coaching staff sitting here propped up in the tree somewhere, looking at all of your plays and stuff like that. Deflating balls. Come on, man.
Yeah.
That's that. But they seem to be like the Cowboys are supposed to be America's team during the year that Katrina happened and when the Saints won the Super Bowl. Those were the only two times that I know of the Saints, let alone any team, being America's team. They really did. People were back in New Orleans just because of the Katrina thing. And then we had got great players, Reggie Bush, Drew Brees. I mean, Jonathan Vilma, man, we were on fire. And we got, what's his name? He was the tight end for the New York Giants.
Shocky.
Oh, boy, that boy, nothing nice yet. But, really and truly, if I had to say, the New England Patriots are a great example of America. Great example of America. You know, the American political system, all the powers that be of America, the Patriots really exemplify all of what they stand for. So,
on that note, let's move away from the NFL. We will be at the Panthers game 2 weeks from now.
Oh, we win.
Anyway, I found an interesting article on CNN on the tech section. Nevada gives a driver's license to a quadriplegic. Nothing sounds wrong with that at all, but he's not going to obviously be able to drive the car with his hands. He's going to be using head motions and breathing and voice commands to control the car. They did not divulge too much in the details of how that works, but I have my faith in technology. Hopefully, he doesn't drive in the school zone.
I mean, so wait, between breathing, head motions, that's how the car is controlled. What about like the braking system? What are the how is this? What's the mechanics of this? How does that work?
I tried to find more details, but the story just came out like a day ago.
Okay.
But what do y'all think about this? This does not sound safe in the least bit. I guess he's only driving to like Walmart or something, right?
Man, if you give that man a driver's license, he can drive wherever he wants. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, I'm definitely gonna say, you know, if it is something that he can do, and there is thorough testing to get that license, then hey, man, go for it. You know, I definitely, I'm not gonna hold anybody back. You know, but at the same time, I need to see what was the criteria. I really need to see what the criteria was. I really need to know that he's gonna be up on the maintenance of that system that he's using. Because if anything goes wrong, a lot of stuff is gonna go wrong.
Why can't the person that's taking care of him, because obviously not doing anything by himself, just drive the car? Like, he doesn't need this. I guess he's trying to vote, maybe, right? I don't know.
I mean, honestly, you can get in the car and somebody can drive it, you can vote, whatever. I mean, at the end of the day, but that's what we as a country were built on. Being independent, being able to get out there and take care of yourself. I mean, obviously, I'm definitely an advocate for that, but I just don't know. And that's simply having lack of knowledge of what actually is going on with that. But at the end, if everything everything checks out, then I can't be against that. I mean, first mental picture, that you get quadriplegic with a driver's license, just went and bought a Maserati, and you kind of sitting here and you like, are you for real? But that's, I mean, as long as you still have your, I'm gonna put it like this. When I had this stroke, man, you know the only thing I really worried about for real is if I was still gonna have my mind. You know, because yes, there is a gaping hole inside of my brain. There is. You know, there is.
Do you know where it is?
Yep, it's right here. It's right there. It's right there. I mean, within my brain, with a blood vessel burst. You know, now it's not a gaping hole now. It's more of a figurative thing, but metaphorical. But at the same time, the initial X-rays they did on the brain, this whole side of my brain was black, was covered in blood. That's how the X-rays showed it. You know,
And to mop it out, right?
No.
They sucked it out, or what?
No, they didn't do anything. It really just gets reabsorbed back in your system, and it was a lot. It was coming out through my ears, but it wouldn't come out as liquid. It would be dried up, crusted blood, and it would just move out. Kind of like when you have too much wax in your ear, and it just pushes itself out. And when I was in the hospital for those 3 months, occasionally I ended up with dried up blood. And they said, oh no, that's not blood. Man, I know what blood is. And I don't have no cuts in my ear.
I find it like really interesting because what you're describing, I think, when I learned it is when the vessel busts, it's an aneurysm, right? That's what they call that one?
Yeah.
And that's like the most lethal one. And you came here, like you're still talking right, you got all your mental faculties, you walking around and stuff. I mean, it's a little bit handicapped from the but like so lucky.
You know what? It's just like this, and there's definitely, this is a definite conversation. You know, with some people it's definitely a debate, but there is such a thing as a power greater than I am. Whatever you choose that to be, that's your business. But I'm saying there's a power greater than me, and I was given another chance. I was given another chance at redemption, you know, of redeeming who I was as a human being. And it's my duty, just like it was before, but now it means something different to me. It's my duty to be better, and to, when I'm dealing with people, you know, I mean, it made me feel good. It feel good that all the times we went out to eat and talking, like having conversations and more like serious kind of conversations, you know what I'm saying? And it was almost like, really and truly, it was exactly like I was able to talk to a peer of mine, you know. I mean, I'm 41 years old, and that just, it's like that pushed me even more, and just like, you know what, this is a part of that purpose. This is the part of that reason of why you were given that second chance, you know what I'm saying? So that you can give what you have to offer, and at the same time to receive what it is that they're offering, you know. So I'm grateful and thankful every day. I do get frustrated. I will tell you that. I do get frustrated. I got frustrated this morning because my arm not working good. You know, it's not working good, but I'm just like, honestly, I was like, I'm tired. I'm tired of, I'm wearing this poor arm out. Yeah, I know it's tired. This leg is tired of brunting everything, you know. But at the same time, hey, the leg doesn't have any other job. You know, it's not working. It's not sitting here working at Little Caesars later on. You know what I'm saying? Your job is to be my leg. So, I mean, it gets frustrating, man. But honestly, man, your outlook on anything, regardless of what it might be, is the key. You know, your outlook, your attitude. You know, I really do try to live every day as far as positive as I possibly can, man. You know, and at that same time, still work on the things that I need to work on as a man. You know, to actually be the best father that I can be, to actually be the best friend that I can be, the best son that I can be, best brother. You know, so it's just about being focused. That's all.
All right, all right. Well, I think we should move on to the final segment. We're gonna skip over some things that I have written because we're going long here. I'm pretty sure. This past week, I noticed a couple things. Just about my life. Like things are becoming progressively better. I feel like the worst 3 years of my life have been like the last 3, and I feel like they're behind me. I feel like the worst of my life is gone. I feel like everything gets better in here. Like the best is yet to come, basically. Like in the future, I see. Well, I'm gonna go to college, and it's gonna be easier relatively to this high school because I went to Ben Franklin. It's, whatever.
Right.
And then when I get a job, I'm like, yeah, that might be hard work, but they're paying me for it, so I don't mind.
Right.
And then I'm gonna get, hopefully one day I get a wife, and I get some kids, and that'd be great, because I can tell them all the great things that I learned from you, I learned from all these other people, and all my experience, and like, I just can't wait to contribute to like having a family, being like a citizen. And I was like, I just can't think of anything like this. Like, barring a disaster or something, I don't want to say anything out loud. I don't want to jinx myself, but I think like everything's gonna be great. I just can't think of anything bad. And like, but I do have a little minor problem. In the pursuit of women, as a teenage boy tends to do, he tries to go out with women. But this past couple months, have my eyes, a couple cute girls, I would say. Ethnicity white, hair black. Anyways, how can I approach this? But I just don't know how do I read if a girl likes me. So I talked to my mother about this and like, are you the aggressor in a situation, or does she come to you sometimes? And then I thought about it. I'm really the aggressor in most of my situations in life, and I don't know how to read into that. So, like, they always say if you're a man, you're supposed to be the aggressor in a situation, but is that really true? If somebody really likes you, when they come up to you?
Yes.
So I wrote down all the people that walk up to me and initiate conversation to me at all. So this is random people. I'm not gonna read them all because y'all don't know them, but it's only 13 people. I don't know if that's high or low. Maybe I should have asked y'all to write down a list of yourselves, but I really like, it's enlightening to look at the people who want to be around you and the people you want to be around. There's definitely a gap there with me.
Oh, there is a disconnect from the people that you want to be around and the people that actually want to be around you. There is a divide. They really, I know in my own life, it's like that. And when you start finding out some of them answers, holler at me. Because I don't know. I really don't know how that necessarily works. I think that's just a human function. You know, it just happens like that sometimes because really and truthfully, as humans, we always kind of want what we can't have.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But in actuality, who says that you can't have that? Those are the limitations that we put on ourselves.
Well, I can't force her to be my girlfriend.
No, you can't.
We're not saying that.
Nah, not at all. Not at all. I'm not. Yeah, it's not. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm like, who's to say those out of those 13 people, those are the ones that you want to be around?
No, that want to be around me.
That want to be around you.
Yes.
All right. Then what you do? One of the things that I know I did. Then you make a list of what each one of those people have in common with the other group of people. What do we have in common with each other? And then sit down there. One thing that they have in common is you. Second thing that they have in common is that you're like now you're not saying that these are the people that do want to be around.
Mm-hmm.
All right. do you dislike? Do you not want them to be around?
No, I like them. They're my friends.
But on a different level though, not that same level that you want to be around.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I do think that it's this is a internal thing. Is what makes that other group so different from this group? Other than that, you know that they want to be around you. What makes them any different?
Oh, what makes them different? I don't know. I think I'll find that out with time. Maybe I'm a little too impatient. Maybe I need to look more into these people, but I don't know.
Well, definitely need to. I suggest you definitely need to look more. But what makes them different is your perception of each one of them.
Yeah.
That's what makes them different. You know, you've put limitations on this group, and then you put expectations on the other. And see, you know the funny thing about expectations? They're wrong. It's wrong to have any expectations on anybody, anything. That is a wrong thing to do. But you constantly go over that list, you're gonna find an answer. But I start there. That's where I would start. You know.
So, Sam, do you see the same thing? Like, do you see the disparity between those two lists?
Yeah, there are definitely some people that I would like to be talking to or hanging out with that haven't necessarily given me the time of day.
Like the football team, right?
No, not really. Most of those people are kind of out there.
Those people some of the people that go to our school, I just tell you, like, how they just have so bad judgment,
Like the jokes they tell, the things they say. It's how can you go out of your house and be so just disconnected from reality?
Sometimes I feel like I'm the one that's disconnected because these people, they're perceived as successes, they're well liked. They have something I don't have. Is that, am I not charismatic? Do I not know funny? Am I not long, tan, and handsome like SpongeBob says? Like, I don't know. It makes me question myself. And obviously, we're not gonna get to the bottom of it here, but just an observation. That's all I have.
How was school with that threat this week?
Oh, you had a bomb threat. You heard about this?
Wait, at y'all school?
Yeah.
Nah, not at all.
So, allegedly. Well, I mean, there was a bomb threat at the school. Somebody said it was going to blow up the school. We found this out Wednesday, but the school knew this like a week in advance. So, the police came to school and searched the lockers down like after school, try to see if they have any bombs on site. There weren't. And then eventually they got a warrant to go to the guy's house, and they found that he had a plan written up, I believe, and he had a gun. But he didn't actually have, depending on who you talk to, there's actually no explosives there. So he was going to shoot up the school. We don't know the details on what the gun is or what his motive is, but that's pretty much it. And the guy's arrested now, but they got to the bottom of it. But they didn't tell us till like it was all said and done. So.
Right.
Well, because they wanted to make sure they didn't like disrupt school without knowing. Because if they told you, hey, someone threatened to shoot up the school, but we haven't caught them yet,
Like, is it you? Is it me?
it would be they'd be more inclined to close down the school until they figured it out.
Yeah. Right. And then
wait, was he a student?
Yeah,
he was a student.
16.
The next day when we found out, like they told us this after school, and the next day they came to school like, who didn't come to school today? Like who's the one that didn't come? So we know that that's the guy.
There were 6 people out, and 5 of them came back Thursday or Friday.
And he did.
And one of them didn't. So.
Do we know his name? It really wasn't.
Maybe.
Wow. All right. I just don't get the point of shooting up a school in the first place. Like,
right.
I don't know. I would like. We all want like people that maybe not you anymore. You're a little bit more mellow these days, maybe. But we all have those people that we just wanted to kill, right? But we're never gonna act upon it because for one, that's illegal. 2, that doesn't solve anything. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess.
No, not really.
No. That is an emotion that never will leave you. As a human being, I'm saying, I was so, I'm gonna say I was so kind of stressed by certain people, certain groups of people when I was in high school because they kind of like act like they didn't stink, all right, also did and whatnot, and then they would treat people that they didn't feel as though were on their level like they weren't on their level. Now, I never got treated like that. You know what I'm saying? I was cool literally with everybody. But I didn't like if you treated him like that. So it will make me, that would make me angry. I had a whole plan devised of exactly what I was going to do. And it was kind of sinister. It was basically, well, I don't want, you know what? Because people take so much stuff literally and they'll actually go and try it and stuff like that. But after we talk to Mike, I'll let you know just actually what was going through my mind as a 15, 16, 17-year-old kid when I was not happy with a situation and somebody was threatening, and not necessarily threatening me because I've always been kind of about the underdog, No, you're not going to take advantage of that, man. No. I guess that's why my power there be made me exactly who I am. Made me a largest stature, made me feisty when need be, even because I don't agree with people taking advantage of maybe less gifted people. You know what I'm saying? They can't necessarily stand up for themselves, So I don't know.
Well, I see that with myself. Maybe not in the same way you're talking about, but I see like there's a certain crowd. Like someone will say they're popular, but to me they're kind of like jerks. They're not like special anyway. And maybe maybe I would be more well like to them. Maybe like invite to their parties. If I hung out with them, but personally, if you see me, I'm probably hanging out with a diverse crowd. I'm hanging out with juniors, sophomores, people you would call nerds, people you would call geeks and all that stuff, and like it's a very wide range of people I talk to, and like maybe I don't know, maybe they think of me like they don't really come up to me as maybe they would have, because they see me like I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing. Teenagers are weird. Coming to that conclusion. Ain't that right, Sam?
Yeah.
But it is an indication of what type of man that each one of them are going to be. It's definitely an indication. And I'll tell you, you know what? Yeah, I played football. I was a jock, so to speak. But then we were kind of like, we were in the honors class. I mean, we had the education report going on. We all are starters on the football team. Everybody likes us or whatever. We don't necessarily have any problems going on. Teachers like us. I got along with literally everybody. But just because I get along with you, if you do something to this man and he's not bothering you and you doing it because you believe that he's weaker, then now if you think he's weaker, well, guess what he is now? I'm going to be an extension because I'm going to look out for him. You know what I'm saying? And that's something. And then I went to St. Augustine, and I'm gonna tell you, it can be trying at times. You know what I mean? It really can be trying because you with the same. Man, I was with the same guys. I went there from the 8th grade. I was with the same guys for every year that I was there. So you grow up with them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, some of those guys, a parent died. Some of those guys, I hate to say this, one of those guys got shot. And he's like where his neighborhood or whatever. So I mean, you tend to get close with these men. You know what I'm saying? So because I went to St. Aug. I was 12 years old. I left St. Aug when I was 17, and I'm telling you, when I went there for the 8th grade, I had to be forced to throw away my Transformers, my G.I. Joe, I had to be forced, and I had to give them to my youngest cousin that lived in Baton Rouge. I did not want to do that. I was still letting out the time. That's my base. You know, that's the base. I open the truck up in the back. Man, I'm still loving everything. And it was like, okay, hey, you were playing today? All right, tomorrow is on. And that's literally how it was. And, you know, you have to grow. And it took me a little while, but I'm glad I did, you know.
Well, I think that's it, right?
Yeah.
Well, any final thoughts? Could we make them short and concise? Sam, you have any final thoughts?
No, just like, comment, subscribe, all that goodness.
Yes, subscribe. Take part in your life and in your community.
Mm-hmm. And I would say be self-aware at all times. Because a lot of people do not have that. Self-awareness and humility are the hardest traits to find in somebody.
Yes.
So just keep that in mind. And thank you for listening.